any form of dialogue between the viewers and the presenters.
Oh, you mean nobody calling there?
No, you can't call on a show. Let me talking out like when we're no calling there. So all you can do is you will listen to the news, and they can also encourage you to buy the newspaper to listen to the news in details.
But do you do viewer recognition at times?
Oh yes, we do viewer recognition. When you are watching, we notify you, and sometimes we even appreciate you on a show, telling you thank you for always following us. We also encourage you to share the live stream, because the more you share the live stream, we transform and we transition ourselves as a broadcast team as well.
Wow. So when can I better get this program you are talking about?
This program is here every Monday to Friday at 10 a.m. to 10:45. The program runs for 45 minutes.
Wow.
And guess what?
Wow.
We bring you hot stories.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you're watching us from. Welcome to Focus Online TV. Welcome to the daily edition of Inside the Print Media. My name is Bertina Korishpa, and I am your presenter here this morning on the daily edition of Inside the Print Media. Alongside with me, I have my colleague. His name is
Kilindon Toba.
and we are here to fill you in on the news related to our country, Liberia, and the world at large. I hope you guys are getting ready for the inauguration celebration on Monday, January 22nd, 2024. It's a blessing to be alive and witness the transition of power between the real-led government and that of the Unity Party. President-elect Joseph Yuma Boaka. Killing so far, how do you feel this morning?
Well, I'm super excited to be here. Like you just said, make mentions about the inaugural program. There has been much of activities. Every other time you hear Nigerians speak, they will be talking about the inaugural programs. I mean, so I believe that a lot of Liberians are gearing up for the inauguration.
Yeah, a lot of Liberians are gearing up for the inauguration, and of course, going along yesterday, around the Queensville Bills, I saw printed shirts and cap for the inauguration, and it was for quarter green. Unity partisans were purchasing their shirts for the inauguration, and of course, on some of these well-known entertainment center, you have party, inaugural party, you have inauguration party, and all of those things. I mean, it brought chill to my skin for some of you who can really, really chill.
Yeah, but one thing yesterday I spoke with Cornelia Cry, former representative candidate, and she plays a very vital role in the Unity Party. They are actually trying to decentralize the activities, so that is to say, they will have the segment of the activity also taking place in district, taking in other
In the
districts
various
across
districts.
the country
Yeah.
because they are trying to depopulate the area.
Yes.
Mhm.
So according to there's news that Joseph Numa Baka, president-elect, wanted to buy the votes of the lawmakers for in favor of Rachel Kuhn, which of course is not really factual, and we de-announce that it doesn't make sense, because I think the purpose of giving 5,000 across the board to each district is because of the inauguration, and everyone will not be able to benefit even if you want to go and attend a inaugural program. So why that idea from the committee or from him is really, really brilliant and welcoming. So each district should benefit 5,000. Do something in your district as you celebrate your inauguration, or as we elect new presidents come January 22nd, 2024. So just do away with that thing that all the grabbing people, and we as media practitioners, those of us who analyze things with sense and kind humor, we understand that from that perspective. So of course this morning we're gonna be diving in our news presentation for today. If you are watching us out of Liberia, we want to say welcome to Focal Online TV. If you are watching us within Liberia, welcome to our Mother's Lane Liberia, and of course, welcome to Focal Online TV. A big shout out to our in studio Terry supervisor this morning or new colleague this morning. Her name is Priscilla Williams Lawrence, and she here serving as our core technical staff this morning.
Yeah.
And she's helping us to put things in studio. So shout out to you, Priscilla, and happy weekend to you folks. I hope you make yourself feel good this weekend. We have a lot that will be taking place on Monday, but in so doing, feel good as you celebrate the incoming inauguration program. Of course, Lyndon so far, Daily Observer newspaper says new Senate pro temple faces Senate Secretary's prosecution predicament. New Senate pro temple faces Senate Secretary's prosecution predicament. Of course, our new Senate pro temple is Yomli Kanga. So, what's in the paper this morning? Daily Observer newspaper says Senator McGill seeks vindication. Senator McGill seeks vindication. And of course, we move over to New Dawn newspaper. New Dawn has a lot in the paper this morning. We captured two headlines from there. We have the first headline: this is laudable and worthy of praise. We are describes refurbished foreign ministry building. This is laudable and worthy of praise. We are president. We are describes refurbished foreign ministry building. Of course, New Dawn says again, New Dawn says this is laudable and worthy of praise. We are described refurbished foreign ministry building. So at this time, we'll transition to Kill Linton Zopa, who will tell us what's in the paper this morning as it relates to our news feed.
All right, thank you, Griffina. Front Page Africa has a lot of news story this morning, but basically we'll be looking at two different news stories. Uh, the headline read: Who is in and who is out? Incoming President Bouakat faces dilemma over state-owned enterprises. Who is in, who is out? Incoming President Bouakat faces dilemma over state-owned enterprises. Liberians speak on how they will remember President George Weah and Vice President Joel Howard Taylor. So this take us to the Hot Pepper newspaper. Nobody should take Bouakat for granted. Representative Yumale warns. We are not protesting. Chairpersons of the aggrieved widows speak out. So those are all of the headlines from the two local newspaper. It's been turned over to you for the continuations.
Okay, folks, these were our headlines under the various newspapers in our country: Liberia, Daily Observer newspaper, New Dawn newspaper, Front Page Africa, and the Hot Pepper newspaper. So, of course, we will take a short break. When we get back, we proceed with our news reading for today. Please stay with us, follow Focal Online TV, and share our live stream, because all we do here is we bring innovation to broadcasting on our various platforms here on Focal Online TV. Stay with me, please, as I will be right back shortly.
Hello, dear. My name is K. Lyndon Toba. I'm in search of a platform where I can get credible information of our daily happenings in Liberia and the world at large.
Hello, Lyndon Topa. My name is Griffina Korishpa. Haven't you heard about Focal Online TV?
You say Focal Online TV?
Focal Online TV is located within a Tobo village community along the Japanese highway.
Tell me more about the platform.
This platform, called Focal Online TV Daily Edition of Inside the Print Media, does not encourage any form of dialogue between the viewers and the presenter.
Right?
Welcome back, folks. Welcome back to the daily edition of Inside the Print Media this morning. And of course, we are back again with our news presentation. The Observer newspaper says as its first headlines, new Senate pro temple faces the Secretary's prosecution predicament. New Senate pro temple faces Senate Secretary's prosecution predicament. Senate pro temple Dominic Kanga Lawrence has encouraged the increasingly pressing dilemma on how best to act on the 2021 letter from the Ministry of Justice MOJ requesting the surrender of the Secretary of the Senate, Nombolo Singbe, to face criminal prosecution. As a supporter of the President-elect Joseph John Walker in his commitment to transparency, accountability, and the rule of law. Senator Kanga Lawrence must decide whether to bring this matter to her police for deliberation. The Liberia Anti-Corruption Commission (LACC) in 2019 indicted defendant Silver for allegedly opening two bogus accounts in the name of MHM Eco Liberia, conspired with Carlos Soccer, Alice Termek, Peter Pasky, John Holaski, and Nouriel Khan by convincing two cashier investors, Martin Malowski and Pavel Malowski, to transfer US 2,495,109 and US 102,000 to pay custom duties on equipment, imported employee salaries, and other running costs. The indictment notes that the total value of properties, including cash and equipment, stolen directly from the Czech nationals by the defendant is estimated at US 5,600, 500,602, 401, 4.10 million. The Malachi brothers were to hold 35% each year, with Singbe holding the remaining 30% share in the proposed NHM Eco Liberia Limited, a rock crushing company that was expected to have been operating in Willa, Martin County, the indictment said. This is how we proceed with another headline. Senator Michael seeks vindication. In a brave and tenacious stance, Margibi County Senator Nathaniel F. Michael continues to advocate for the establishment of a war economic crimes court in Liberia. This move aims not only to prosecute individuals for crimes committed, but also to vindicate those wrongly accused, he says. Despite being one of the nine senior Liberian government officials sanctioned by the United States government for corruption, abuse of public office, and human rights violations in the last few years, Michael remained resolute in his pursuit of justice. The other victims of the U.S. sanctions include Minister of Finance Samuel Tweed, former Senate Pro Temple Abbott Chief, Nimba County Senator Prince Johnson, and Grenke County Senator Vanish Jeffrey. The rest are Margibi County Senator Chief Emmanuel Nukwe, former National Post Authority Managing Director now Senator Highway, former Solicitor General Serena Stevens, and the Secretary General of the ruling Coalition for Democratic Change (CDC), and Mayor of Monrovia Jefferson T. Kochi. During an interview in Monrovia on Thursday, January 18, Senator Michael expressed his determination to collaborate with civil society organizations to secure the establishment of the court. He emphasized the importance of coming up with recommendations based on the Truth and Reconciliation Commission (TRC) documents. As a victim of what he described as false corruption accusations, Michael believes that the court will help clear his and other names or hold them accountable if found guilty. This is how we call on Lyndon Tukpa, who will fill us in on our news presentation. The Front Page Africa newspaper.
Front Page Africa newspaper. Who is in, who is out? Incoming President Bouakai faces dilemma over state-owned enterprises. The end of one era begins the turn of another. For the incoming Joseph Bouakai's administration, turning to somewhat a small economy around will rely heavily on the performance of state-owned enterprises and how much contribution they could be able to make to the national budget. While SOE contribution was less than 1% of the budget overturned in 2022, in 2023, a total of 10 million was approved, representing 1.3% of the budget, and later revised to 9.3 million about 1.12% of the revised budget. On the eve of Mr. Bwaka's inauguration, the issues obtaining regarding heads of SOE have been heavily debated with some suggestions within the incoming government cycle that those appointed by President Weah will be given healthy packages and shown the door to make way for new officials. The million-dollar question is, which of those officials of the Weah-led administration did fairly decent job to warrant a return, and who are the new faces likely to replace them? Much of what unfolds in the coming months will largely depend on how far the administration will be willing to go to exchange existing setup at the various SOE for a suitable replacement in areas that may require complete overhaul to fix broken and non-existent system. This is key for not just tenure official but civil servant as well. On November 12, 2023, outgoing President George Weah signed an executive order pretty much stating the fate of non-tenure officials, Section 9, regarding the non-tenure position, presidential appointed state, overturned presidential appointment shall be presumed to have resigned on the date of inauguration. Accordingly, the most senior civil servant of all ministry agency commission and state-owned enterprises are act as officer in charge pending the appointment of successor. With this being said, this is how we move over to another headlines on the front page African newspaper. Nobody should take Nobody should take Waka for granted. Yumali won. Representative Francis Yumali has alarmed that President-elect Joseph N. Waka should not be taken for granted by Liberians when it comes to justice dispensation and the declared decree implementation. When he tells you it, he means yes, it is he means yes, Representative said, assuring Liberians that President-elect Waka will not exercise friendship and selective justice in his administration. He can take decision, but does not choose who he is. Representative Yumali, who is President-elect Waka's kinsman, says since his interaction with him from the youthful age to present, President-elect has reacted to issue in a civilized manner, observing that he does not insult, but when he gets angry, he talks more than and counsel him on his or her end. He is resolved, resilient, and is record keeping. With this being said, this is how we will push it over to Greg Finan to read our stories from the New Dawn newspaper. Greg, is being turned over to you.
Thanks to you, Kaylin. So far, folks, this is how we proceed with New Dawn newspaper. This is laudable and worthy of praise. We are described refurbished foreign ministry building. Outgoing President George Manneh Weah has described the newly refurbished Ministry of Foreign Affairs building as commendable achievement worthy of praise, especially for the government that has often been criticized and accused falsely of corruption. President Weah said the dedication of the refurbished building, coupled with launch of revised passport regulations, demonstrates a high level of patriotism and commitment of his government to the Liberian people, ensuring a smooth continuation in governance. The president commends the people and Kingdom of Morocco and Saudi Arabia for the generous support, respectively, that have given the Ministry of Foreign Affairs a new and modern face. He hails Foreign Ministry D. Sir Maxwell Kimia and him for their dedicated services by the level of work done so far in the short 3-year period that they have served. President Weah reiterates that Minister Kimia and his team duly understood the philosophy of former United States President John F. Kennedy, who once said, ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. He notes Kenya and his team have truly exemplified this philosophy of President Kennedy by the level of work done so far at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Mr. Weah says if agreement were to assist his government in a meaningful way, like the refurbishing of the foreign ministry, building Liberia could rapidly be developed as patriotic efforts could have been recognized. He urges Nigerians to do whatever little they can do to modernize the country, noting that Liberia has come too much of age to still be stunted at the level of undeveloped countries in which they find themselves. This is how we turn over to Lyndon Tokwa with Hot Pepper newspaper presentation.
Hot Pepper newspaper, Liberians speak on how they will remember President Weah, Vice President Joel Howard Taylor. As President George Manuel Weah's tenure concludes on Monday, January 2022, 2024, the lingering questions of how Liberians will perceive their outgoing leader remains a topic of significant concern. Reflecting on the immediate past presidency, citizens are divided in their assessment. Some commend President Weah for his contribution to national development, citing tangible improvements that have been positively affected the lives of ordinary Liberians. Hot Pepper newspaper conducted interview with locals to gather their perspective on this matter. Here is a compilation of what some Liberians had to say. Theodore N.S. Nanan, a resident of Montserrat County District 8, he will be remembered for bringing the presidency to the people unlike before his regime, where to see the president you must be a court. During his time, whenever you called upon him, he could come. He was a jovial person. He sang and danced to music and played sports like football, basketball with commoners. Other presidents didn't do so. Despite the hardship of his regime, he was down to earth. You know, Liberians can only remember you when you leave power. You remember President Weah for being people-centered during their regime when we're free to move around and do their businesses. Another thing we will miss him for will be the issues of free speech. And I can say that the people were free. There was no harassment. Even the motorcyclists that was nothing like no go zone to restrict motorcyclists. They did their business smoothly. The ordinary people felt the impact of his government. Look at his development across the country, especially those places where those places were dissected and made a dump site. President Weah turned those places into beautiful parks for people to enjoy themselves. Prince Bella Cole, a resident of Car, where President Weah will be remembered for his extraordinary freedom of expression. The building of various sports parks, these are developments that affected the lives of ordinary Liberian people because those parks were not built for wealthy people. They were built for every Liberian, especially from the slum community. So those parks brought beauty to our city. With this being said, this is how we will turn it over to Greg Finnan for the conclusions of today's broadcast.
So just a summary of our news presentation for today. Of course, we have the Data Observer newspaper, new Senate Pro Temple faces Senate Secretary's prosecution predicament. The House are waiting to see the step Pro Temple's Senate Pro Temple Nombri Kanka is going to be taken as it relates to the Secretary of the Senate, Nambola Singwe, to face criminal prosecution. Of course, we have Senator Magio, who is seeking vindication for a war crime pool for all those who were involved in our civil war here in Liberia. Of course, you know Senator Magio has been sanctioned by the U.S. government along with some of his colleagues. And from the side of the ruling party, that is CDC, he has been sanctioned along with Jefferson Koji and others we have on the list here. So he's asking for vindication for those who fought the war, those who are involved in the war, were involved in the war, for them to be prosecuted by the law. This is laudable and worthy of praise. We have described the foreign ministry. We have described the foreign ministry and thank Minister Kimia, D. Maxwell Kimia, served as the head of the foreign ministry. He thanked him for his work done in terms of the refurbishing of our ministry as it continues in the government. So he thanked them and told them that they served as John F. Kennedy, a former American president, described and told his fellow people, his fellow citizens, that it's not what your country can do for you, it's what you can do for your country. So he thanked them a whole lot and he appreciated Mr. Kimia for the work done thus far. Of course, these were our headline from the front page African from the Daily newspaper and the New Dawn newspaper. So we will be talking specifically about the inauguration and regarding the security protocol for the inauguration. We will take a short break and get back. My colleague and I will elaborate on the aspect of inauguration. We are not sure yet whether there have been a statement declared from our news source that Monday will be a holiday. We are not sure yet, and it's not factual. So when we get back, whatever we have in our newsroom, we'll let you know concerning the inauguration. Please stick and stay with Focal Online TV, especially the daily edition of Inside Opinion.
Hello there, my name is K. Lyndon Toba. I'm in search of a platform where I can get credible information of our daily happenings in Liberia and the world at large.
Hello, Lyndon Topa. My name is Greg Courage Pa. Haven't you heard about Focal Online TV?
You say Focal Online TV?
Focal Online TV is located within a Tobo village community along the Japanese highway.
Tell me more about the platform.
This platform, called Focal Online TV Daily Edition of Inside the Print Media, does not encourage any form of dialogue between the viewers and the presenters.
Oh, you mean nobody calling there?
No, you can't call on a show. Let me talking out like when we're no calling there. So all you can do is you will listen to the news, and they can also encourage you to buy the newspaper to listen to the news in details.
But do you do viewer recognition at times?
Oh yes, we do viewer recognition. When you are watching, we notify you, and sometimes we even appreciate you on a show, telling you thank you for always following us. We also encourage you to share the live stream, because the more you share the live stream, we transform and we transition ourselves as a broadcast team as well.
Wow. So when can I better get this program you are talking about?
This program is aired every Monday to Friday at 10 a.m. to 10:45. The program runs for 45 minutes.
Wow.
And guess what?
Wow.
We bring you hot stories of our trending situation within our country, Liberia. Imagine hearing stories from Hot Pepper newspaper, from the Daily Observer newspaper, from Front Page Africa. Are you a lover of Front Page Africa?
Oh yes, I'm a lover of
Front Page Africa and the women.
Discussion surrounding the inauguration program. Of course, my colleague will elaborate on that more. But just so you know, the inauguration is slated for January 22nd, 2024, and the inauguration will be held on the Capitol building ground. That is bypass. Is it? Am I right?
Sure.
Yes, opposite UL. Opposite UL. So I can say it's in from a military or it's in Vermont. Like
Yeah, they are all. That is the entire
they are all
capital.
on the same line,
Yeah.
but of course, and that is where the inauguration ceremony will be held. So please don't forget that. I think starting from today there will be some security protocols as it relates to where you pass with your vehicles and where you do not pass with your vehicles. Concerning the in-town route. So Kelly, not you were just received.
Yeah. Thank you, Griffina, for leading such a beautiful piece. So, a couple of days ago, the joint security, had a meeting. They have been having series of meetings regarding the inaugural program, and they came up with a statement intended to basically advise motorcyclists, tricyclists, truck drivers, and all of those vehicles that as of yesterday they started to execute those mandate that they should be using the Jalatown route. All other vehicles flying from Monrovia should be using the Jalatown route. The tricycle coming from Gunnersville should also pass through Waterside. The motorcyclists, every one of them should go through Waterside and do every other activity within that particular.
Beginning today.
Yeah, beginning today. within that particular domain. So what they are trying to do is that they want people to get accustomed, to actually get accustomed to those regulations, so that on the date of the inauguration, so somebody can say, "Oh, I never knew about it." So
When
this
I
is why,
phone sooner.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. This is why they are trying to I call to increase the awareness so that everybody can get accustomed to it. So another mandate they spoke about during their press release was, if you don't have an invitation or a pass to be at the grounds of the or at the scene of the inauguration program, you should not go there. And they actually made a very strong statement attached to that particular point. They say you should not go there, because whenever you are having an interaction with the police officer and you are unable to display that particular
Your
document,
identification. Yeah.
yeah, you will be auto arrested, and they don't want Liberians to actually have that kind of conveniences about the
And
inauguration.
I know for some people will still want to violate.
Yeah, people will want to violate.
So let's change that mindset as we transition. Liberia is not just for the presidency, but we as a country, we are transitioning to another level, whatever may come from this newly elected government officials. So what we have to do, we have to be law abiding citizens. It's not because oh my friend went there, so no. It's that particular day you don't have to protest. Amen. That particular day, hold your protest. Let protest after that day. You won't go to Joseph Wakawa said to go protest to be newly elected. Go ahead. You will be newly inducted into office. Go ahead. But you don't have to show out that you are a typical Liberian with that mindset.
Yeah,
That old mindset we have.
yeah.
Don't be identified. Show your card. If you don't have any inaugural pass, do not go at that entrance. Stay in the vicinity of your district. Stay there, celebrate, listen to the news, do whatever thing possible to be a law-abiding citizen for that day of.
And another thing, which of course I think is important, is the fact that because of the importance of that particular exercise, televisions and several other platforms will be broadcasting it, so that you don't necessarily need to actually go there. You can just sit at your home and you witness the entire, witness the start of the activity to the concluding phase. So there is one thing, I like you rightly said. You make mentions about those who wanting to protest. Do they is it that they have the right to protest? Yes, they do have the right to protest. But is it that appropriate for them to protest on the date of the inauguration?
No.
It is not totally appropriate.
Appropriate.
You understand?
Yeah.
Because if George Weah, on the day George Weah was being inducted into office, nobody protested on the date of the inauguration. So I don't think it would be called for. It would be fair to protest on the inauguration day of Joseph Waka.
Let's not do it like a competition.
Mhm.
Whether you wanted to protest on George Weah Day or not, or you want to do this, just get it clear that on the day a president is being inducted into office or inauguration, it doesn't make sense. It is inappropriate. It is not decent, and these acts need to be abolished. And we need to do away with it. This is Liberia. We want Liberia to transition. Do not take dirt from your house or from your business center. Show them on the go. You have people who are coming away. We have people who are coming from away to Liberia. People will be using the rehab bill to come to the rehab bill to come to Liberia.
Most definitely.
You cannot. I mean, if you can do it for that one day, you can do it throughout the year. If you can just do it, manage all of the things in the confine of your best interest. Let's show the dirt to where it should be placed. Do not take dirt from the enemy. The people cleaning the street before you make up your mind in the morning, dirt have already been thrown on the main road. How do you call that? So please do not show dirt from your house, from your business center on the main street. It doesn't make sense. They have people who are in charge of collecting the dirt. They will collect the dirt and throw it to where it should be. Do not take dirt and throw it on the road. Foreigners are coming into the country. Investors are coming. They want to see the Liberia that we all prioritize for elevation. So we have to do those things that will draw their attention. You cannot go about whopping people on the the day of inauguration.
Sure.
You cannot worry about that. It signifies our country is not safe enough for foreigners to come into our country. Although we had this old mindset that we should be our own security in Liberia. Yes, of course that is true, but you cannot go about robbing people, motorbikes, get robbers. You have to be law-abiding citizens. You have to be law-abiding citizens for our inauguration and onward. If mandate says that you cannot run town, so be it. Whatever you generate for that day, it is what it is. Do not go beyond. Do not go so that you and police can have an interaction that will signal to the international community that Liberians are just typical Liberian, are African now. You know, that's how you capture us.
The kind of mindset they already have about
So
us.
you have to be loyal about it. If you see an officer attire for that day, dress up attire sorry, if an officer is attire for that day and tell my man to not pass, so can I see a lesson? Fully give a lesson and respect all protocols that day. Officers of our nation should be respected. PSU, fire service. I mean, all of the entire different services of officers we have within our country needs to be respected. If you park to a wrong place, they tell you to turn around, turn around. There are streets in Monrovia that are one way. There are streets in Monrovia that you cannot pass or you cannot enter. There are streets in Monrovia that you can enter to be law-abiding citizens. Do not go for an argument that will cause face fight.
Yeah, I think the folks who have since been conducting the cleanup exercise across Monrovias and other environments are doing a pretty much job. And in my opinion, that particular exercise, the government needs to actually, the incoming administration needs to actually empower them and provide all of the needful resources so that they can keep beautifying our city. Because let our cities look green, let our city look plain, let our city appear very beautiful in the eyes of people who are who are not Liberians.
Yeah. So yesterday I was having a conversation with my colleague Mohammed Vanikani, and I told Mohammed, I said, Mohammed, these people that are cleaning the streets, if the government, except work and newly elected government, if he just don't pay keen attention to pay these people on time, and he do the same thing that the people were talking about, it'll be a media practitioner. As for me, I'm gonna support that.
Yeah.
These are people who take up that time for little or nothing.
Oh yes.
People who clean the
Family
streets in other
heads.
countries are paid. We are not even comparing here, but they are paid a good amount of money.
A decent
But
salary.
these people are not even treated well. They don't have sufficient gears to face all of the dirt and other things on the street. But yet it's still they are making it their responsibility to do so. What you can do for your country is not what your country can do for you. What you can do for your country. These people are making themselves vulnerable. They are volunteering to do these things. Therefore, a compensation.
Yeah,
should be allotted to
it is obvious
them.
that
And
the
it should be on time.
it is obvious that the outgoing coalitions of Democratic Change government failed in terms of keeping Ray Light clean, one of
Yes.
the biggest commercial centers in Liberia. So we hope to see what the incoming administration does purposely at cleaning and beautifying, giving Ray Light the kind of deserving outlook it deserves.
And
So we-
especially
yeah.
the place that dirt should be thrown. Okay, the people are cleaning the street. Where is it that they are carrying the dirt? Because you clean the street, leave the dirt there, it still signifies that you have not cleaned the place.
Sure.
The dirt is still there. So this government needs to understand where should these people throw the dirt?
Yeah.
Where is the actual dump site that the dirt should be taken and let it be taken from there? So that people, when the street is clean, we have trash cans on the street. If I also post all these advantages.
You
for
are
you,
rich.
yes.
Yeah.
We're not going to take it. But I mean, trash cans on the street where you can dump the dirt and other things. It is not exposing. It's covered, well preserved, and everything. These are things that we look forward to as it relates to the cleanliness of our country. So, folks, thanks for joining us this morning. We gave you a few updates on the inaugural program or the inauguration ceremony. And we say it's not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. You can start within your community. You can start within your town. You can start wherever you are and just do something for your country. Because if you are waiting for you have to always do something for you, you're gonna wait so long. It's not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. You went to school in your country, you accomplished a degree you wanted to accomplish. You accomplished business you wanted to accomplish. What can you do now for your country? That's what matters. Thanks for joining us this morning. I love you. Party, and I'm closing up with my colleague Kay Linda Topa. My name is Rekina Courage Party. This is how we call it your day. I see you when I see you. Let's chill out today. Today is Friday, chill out today, and of course the inaugural program again Monday. It's a very intense working day, but do what you can do. Be a law-abiding citizen of our country. We see you when we see you. Bye bye. We love you and a blessed day.
Hello, dear. My name is K. Lyndon Toba. I'm in search of a platform where I can get